Yeah, it's fight time. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Let's go. Fight time. Bring it on, gentlemen. Hey, I want to get to this, but before we do, thank you so much for subscribing. The new subscribers, those who have been with me since day one, I really appreciate you. You already know we are family, man. Definitely. We are one community, for the love of the sport of boxing, man. I just want to get to this, as far as Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. If I'm not mistaken, they were scheduled to fight before the whole pandemic, right, situation, before all this, quarantine stuff. They were scheduled to fight. It was official, and, it was called off, postponed, whatever, right, because of all this stuff that has been going on. And thankfully, word's going out that, that they're gonna get it on. They're gonna get it on, man. They're gonna fight around November or December. By the time I post this video up, there'll probably be a fight date. So, all I know is they're going to fight. Heck yeah. For some Commonwealth titles, I don't know. I don't really want to know. I can care less about that. But, it's great. They're going to fight, man. These heavyweight prospects, undefeated. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun because that's why I put those characters there, the cartoon guys. Ren and Stimpy, crazy cartoon, man, but from back in the day. But that's why I put it there because I'm excited about it. I kind of want to break it down to a certain extent between these two fighters and who I think is going to win. First, we can start with Joe Joyce. He can bang. He from what I understand, he has more round experience. Experience in rounds, and as far as stamina is concerned, if I'm not mistaken, he fought Stavern. They went at it for a while, in the fight. And I think that, Joe Joyce has more stamina. It can be he has more stamina and experience, okay? I see that in Joe Joyce in the fights I've seen. I haven't seen him fight too much, but I've seen several of his fights. And obviously we know, concerning Joe Joyce, everybody knows, he takes long to wind up. He winds up his shots too long, man. Quite slow, okay? He throws like slap hooks. His hooks are like slaps, like they want to smack you. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe his style. Every style, every style, each fighter has their own style, but I don't know, man. Like his defense is pretty good though. I like his head movement and upper body movement. He uses the ring well. But as far as his defense, it's all right. He for the things I've said a moment ago, his head movement. But when he has his guard up, another way he uses his defense. He has his guard up. Sometimes he doesn't. He keeps his arms down, and and he's just moving the head around and using the ring. When opponents are trying to attack, but when he puts his guard up, he seems kind of like stiff. And I don't know if that's lack of experience. To me, it looks like it is. Okay. I'm not contradicting myself as far as experience because I don't know Joe Joyce's amateur record, but Daniel Dubois, I think he has in his amateur record like 69 fights or something like that. 69 fights, 6 losses or something like that, or 9 losses. So I just see Joe Joyce just quite slow, man, in his punches. Everybody sees it. His defense is okay. Stamina's all right. So those are his advantages, but quite slow, man. I don't know if he's one of the slowest heavyweights I've ever seen so far. As far as, this era of boxing, I'm not, but I think it is. He's slow. He's quite slow, man. So Daniel Dubois, it's kind of, I want to break it down quickly. Daniel Dubois, I see him, his punches are quite precise. But when Daniel Dubois throws flurries and when he gets emotional in the ring, I don't know. I'm not really good with UK fighters. I'm all right with some of them as far as knowing them, as far as a fan. But, Daniel Dubois fought some guy. And this guy had like a yellow dyed blonde beard. He had a blonde beard. That's what stuck out to me. And at a distance, he kind of looks like James Toney or something. But yeah, he fought that guy. All right. I'm sorry if I don't remember that dude's name. But so the reason why I say is because that I bring this up is because when Daniel Dubois I don't remember which round it was, but they got kind of emotional. He got angry and boom, he just started, IQ out the window. They just started going at it. Bam, bam. It was after a clinch. I remember that because this guy, Daniel Dubois' opponent was clinching, and it looks like the Daniel Dubois' opponent was getting tired. He was feeling the shots. He clinched for a long time, and then the ref broke it up and like warned his opponent. Said, "Hey, man, I don't know what he was saying, but he was just warning him." And then they went back at it, and wow, at that moment, Daniel Dubois, man, just started throwing. They just started throwing blows, man. It reminded me of something that Leo Santa Cruz does commonly in his fights. When they just start going at it, bam, bam, like it were some kind of street fight or something. And that when Daniel Dubois does that, he's not precise in his punches. That's what I'm getting at here. Okay, generally speaking, when he's focused, when he's calm, you know what I mean, with the jab, inside shots, 1-2s on the inside, he's pretty precise, and he punches pretty hard. So, those are some advantages I see in Daniel Dubois. The only thing I see, or a couple things I see in Daniel Dubois, we already know. I'm sure you guys know also that we don't know if he can go the distance. Joe Joyce, it looks like he can go the distance in fights, so he's more experienced in that sense. Okay. As far as Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, we don't know yet if he could, because all his fights, most of his fights at least, were KOs or have been KOs or TKOs. So I don't think Daniel Dubois is accustomed, Triple D, right? Accustomed to going the distance. Okay, so that's the thing we got to keep our eye on. When he fought that one guy I was telling you about a moment ago, yeah, he knocked him out, right? But he didn't look too tired, okay? And I don't remember what round that was. It went a few rounds, okay? But, I mean, he typically knocks out opponents very early in the fight, very early. And when he was throwing those flurries, it was quite an action-packed, it was quite an active fight between the two. The exchanges were high exchanges, between those two guys, Daniel Dubois and his opponent that I'm talking about. And I forgot his name, I'm sorry. But you can see it on YouTube. I mean, you'll find just Daniel Dubois do full fights, and you'll see that guy, that opponent. And, so we don't know. That question mark lingers, as far as Daniel Dubois and how long he can last, in a fight with the same kind of, precision that he shows in early rounds. You know what I mean? When he's calm, when he's calm, cool, and collected, right? When he has a game plan. When he puts his game plan into execution. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. So that's the question mark that lingers with Daniel Dubois. But generally speaking, I mean, he's a solid prospect. They're both prospects. But I don't see, okay, this is something I want to point out here too. I don't see Joe Joyce as like a promising prospect, with his future in the sport of boxing. There are people speaking now because, this is apparently official that the terms are already agreed upon, okay? The terms are already agreed upon between these two fighters, and that, everything's ready to go. So sooner or later, you're going to hear the date or whatever, right? But, and promotion and stuff like that on this fight. But I don't see, if Joe Joyce wins, which I doubt, so I'm trying to get to my, conclusion as far as my prediction. I don't think Joe Joyce is going to win. If he does, all right, I don't see him fighting top opponents. I mean, I don't see him fighting elite heavyweights, okay? I mean, this is what I'm saying. That word's getting around already that, the winner of these, between these two have an opportunity to possibly fight, a Tyson Fury, an Anthony Joshua, Wilder, those names. Luis Ortiz possibly, but, I just kind of imagine in my head, if Joe Joyce wins, imagine him fighting a Luis Ortiz, King Kong Ortiz. Ortiz is too skilled for this guy, Joe Joyce, man. Joe Joyce is way too slow. Ortiz would, southpaw, heavyweight, he would just, the precision that he has, that Cuban background, I'm saying, he would just, boom, straight left, it's over, Joe Joyce, you know what I'm saying? And with those sloppy, or I want to say sloppy, sorry, those slap hooks that he throws, man, Ortiz would easily counter that. He would read that a mile away and boom, read that a mile away. 1, 2, but, you know what I'm saying? Go to the body, pass. I mean, it's just, I just don't picture Joe Joyce with the top heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand. I mean, this is a great opportunity for both, for Joe Joyce too, but I don't know. I just don't see Joe Joyce, if he wins, I don't see him going to even against a Parker. I don't even think Joe Joyce fought a Parker. You know what I mean? Chisora, I don't know if they fought. I really don't know as far as too much about their resumes. I've seen their fights, several other fights, but I just don't recall him fighting like bigger names because, you know, their prospects, I don't think their opponents and their resumes are really, you know, known at all. Maybe in UK or whatever, but not around here, you know, in the Western Hemisphere. But with all due respect, you know, obviously, you know, and so I don't see Joe Joyce, if he wins, going too far in the heavyweight division. That's kind of what I'm saying here as far as with world heavyweights, you know what I'm saying, around the world. So like I said, I repeat, these two guys are fighting for like some Commonwealth titles, heavyweight titles or something like that. So Daniel Dubois, on the other hand, I want to point this out, that I think that Daniel Dubois does have more, you know, potential. I think he has more skills. Okay. You know, I'm not too sure about, like I said, Joe Joyce's amateur career, about how concerning, you know, regarding how many fights Joe Joyce has. Dubois, he has like a decent amount, 69 fights, heavyweight, you know. But on the other hand, you know, Joe Joyce has some Olympian background, I guess, as far as, you know, like Commonwealth Olympics, or I don't know all that UK stuff, but, you know, he has fought as an amateur in some of those, you know, like Summer Olympics and things of that nature. So, I mean, he has experience in that sense. But, like, you know, another thing we got to consider is that, if I remember correctly, Joe Joyce has been down before, right, in the amateurs. I think he's gotten knocked out or knocked down a few times, or knocked out in the amateurs. Maybe you want to research that, but I think it was Joe Joyce. You know, sometimes I research fighters. You know, I try to get more in depth as far as their, like, you know, historical background in boxing, their come-ups, their upbringing, you know what I'm saying, their pedigree. And I think Joe Joyce has been down before several times, a few times, okay? So, you know, with Daniel Dubois' power, you know, that might be something we should consider here. Joe Joyce probably doesn't have the best chin, okay? So, Daniel Dubois, I personally think he's going to win, okay? I think he's going to win. He's going to outsmart Joe Joyce. I don't think those, you know, the type of punches that Joe Joyce throws and the speed that he throws them at, Daniel Dubois should be able to read that. He should be able to read that and counter them and have a good game plan against Joe Joyce. So I think Daniel Dubois is going to win. I possibly think there's going to be a knockout. He'll probably knock him out around, who knows how many rounds this will be, maybe a 10-rounder. If so, I see Daniel Dubois knocking Joe Joyce out, and I want to put this on record, even if I'm wrong, I don't care, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone's right in boxing. It's just too much stuff in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to predict everything, you know, much less correctly. I would say around 8 or 9. Round eight maybe, you know, Daniel Dubois knocking out Joe Joyce. I think Daniel Dubois is going to give a statement, you know, put on a statement that night, whenever the fight's going to be, whenever it's official. But from what I know, it's already set, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, man. Daniel Dubois, I think he's more promising. His future is more promising. His potential, the skills that he has, you know, he uses decent footwork, you know what I'm saying? He hops a little bit on his feet, you know, so I see that. That's good with Daniel Dubois also. But more than anything, his skills and the way he executes his jabs and his power punches, you know, a little faster too. He's faster than Joe Joyce. So, I mean, all those things, you know, Daniel Dubois has going for him, and I see Daniel Dubois winning, okay? So, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. Let's keep an eye out on the date. Like I said, by the time I post this, man, upload it or whatever on my channel, the date will probably be out. So, they're talking about November, December. So, we'll see what happens, man. So, definitely, man, I'm excited about this. See two heavyweight prospects. We got to see more prospects, you know, up-and-coming prospects in other divisions fight each other. And thankfully, this is going to happen. So, we'll see what goes on, right? Renee Box Young, thanks so much. Share, like, subscribe. If there are any new listeners, go ahead and subscribe to Renee Box Young, my channel. Open platform for the love of the sport of boxing. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And comment below, who do you guys think is going to win, man? Thank you guys so much. Stay safe. Peace out, fam.